Now then, Sir Captain Tom Moore passed away yesterday from coronavirus at the grand age of 100 years old. But before we reflect on his incredible life, let's take a look at the hero who inspired a nation.
He captured our hearts with his wartime spirit, optimism and mantra of tomorrow will be a good day.
All my life I've been an optimistic person, to think that if you had a bad day or two, things will certainly get better. And in my life, they always have.
Second World War veteran Captain Sir Tom Moore first came to prominence in April last year with his aim of walking 100 laps of his garden to raise money for the NHS. He initially hoped to raise £1,000, but surpassed all expectations and raised a staggering £39 million, becoming a symbol of hope during one of the toughest years the country has endured. In April, he reached the milestone of 100 and was appointed an honorary colonel by the Queen. The occasion was marked with an RAF flypast, and he received more than 225,000 birthday cards and gifts from thousands of well-wishers. He received his knighthood from the Queen in July and touchingly said, "I am absolutely overawed," before joking, "If I kneel down, I won't get back up again." Captain Tom became an unlikely celebrity worldwide. He went on to break 2 Guinness World Records, becoming the oldest person to get a #1 single in the UK charts. And you'll never walk alone. He also published an autobiography, Tomorrow Will Be a Good Day, a children's picture book, and last September, the centenarian signed a film deal to have a biopic made of his life. He also became the oldest ever cover star for British GQ magazine.
It's amazing. It makes me feel very humble, really does, that I raised such interest. It isn't something that I think you set out to do, and we never set out to raise this sort of money. We never ever believed that that would happen.
Born in 1920, Tom had trained as a civil engineer before enlisting in the army for World War II. Rising to captain, he served in India and Burma. Tom met the love of his life, Pamela, while working as a salesman. She sadly passed away from dementia, and Tom nursed her through the last few years of her life. She was unable to see his fundraising efforts, but he launched a mental health charity in her memory. He was grandfather of 4 and held family close to his heart, living with his daughter Hannah and her 2 children, Benji and Georgia, who were immensely proud of their grandfather's achievements. Captain Tom united a country during the most difficult time since World War II and inspired a nation to believe anything is possible by reminding us it's never too late to do something incredible.
He was an incredible man. Well, to help us pay tribute and share their memories of Captain Sir Tom Moore are his favourite singer, Katherine Jenkins, who surprised him with a Pride of Britain in October.
One of his greatest admirers, JOANNA LUMLEY.
And we're also delighted to say that 6-year-old double amputee Tony Hudgell, who Captain Sir Tom Moore inspired to take his own 10-kilometre challenge, also joins us alongside his parents, Paula and Mark. And Paula, Mark and Tony, it's so lovely to see you. And we'll start with you first of all. And I don't think there was anyone in the country that wasn't inspired by this man, but especially your family. So on hearing that news yesterday, how did you feel?
How did you feel, Tony?
Really, yeah, really.
Sad, wasn't you?
Yeah.
You were sad. Not that he's going to be his hero, but he'll always be in our hearts. He's Tony's huge inspiration.
Well, without Tom, Tony wouldn't be walking the way he is now. So explain why and explain the challenge.
So last year, Tony had got his first prosthetics with feet, but he wasn't really interested in learning to walk with them. Then he saw Captain Tom and he said, "Mum, I can do that," and wanted to set his own challenge. He was absolutely smitten with Captain Tom. He just wanted to watch everything that he was on. And he started his challenge. It was very, very difficult and gruelling at first. We set out to raise £500 and for Tony to walk 10 kilometres. he ended up smashing his 10 kilometres and walked nearly 13, and raised over £1.5 million for the Evelina Children's Hospital.
It's just incredible. I mean, it's such a huge achievement. And like you said, it was a struggle and it was tough. So any support from, and you did get a lot of support from the nation, actually, but you did get support from himself, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Captain Tom sent Tony a few messages telling him not to give up, keep going, that he was being amazing. And Tony loved the messages, absolutely loved them, totally inspired him. What is Captain Tom to you?
Really special.
Yeah.
And so you say he was really special. How do you think he helped you, Tony?
When I saw him on the TV, I said I can do that, and then I did do it.
You did.
Yeah.
And it's not his legacy is not, because I think if you add gift aid, it comes to about £39 million that he raised. You're over £1 million for you. But it's not just about money, is it? Because it was more than that.
Yeah, absolutely. For Tony, if it wasn't for Captain Tom, he wouldn't be walking now, I'm sure. And it's opened up so many more opportunities for him, especially at school, being able to play with his peers. A wheelchair restricted him so much. His walking's just come on leaps and bounds. He'll walk with one crutch now at times, and he's even attempted walking without any crutches.
Wow.
Amazing.
That's incredible.
Absolutely brilliant.
Well, let's not also forget, I mean, we're talking today about the inspiration that Tom was, but also, Tony, you know, there'll be people watching you thinking, right, OK, Tony can do it, so can I.
Yeah, hopefully. You know, he's going to carry on inspiring the nation, or not just the nation, globally. Even we have messages from all around the world, and you know, Captain Tom's going to live on in all of our hearts, and inspire so many. He's inspired such a huge generation, generations all the way down, as you can see, right down to sort of 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
I love the dog.
I know. Who's that? I mean, obviously I can see who it is, but where did he come from?
I didn't knit it. I'm not that talented. A lovely lady made it for Tony when he was doing his walk, because he was so inspired by Captain Tom. And actually, it's lovely now. He went to bed cuddling him last night, which is just, it's lovely.
Oh, listen, thank you
guys.
for joining us this morning. And it's just, Tony, it's great to see you doing so well.
Yeah,
well
keep
done,
up the
you.
good work.
Yeah,
keep up that hard work.
Keep going, keep going. We can talk now to Katherine Jenkins, who was one of the lucky people to meet him. And Katherine, you've met many of the greats throughout your career, but when you met him in person, you said you felt you were in the presence of a superstar.
Oh, an absolute superstar. And I think, you know, like everybody out there, I was touched by his story. Definitely shed a few tears watching his achievements. And when I found out I was going to get the honour of presenting him with the Pride of Britain Award, I was really excited to meet him. And I have to tell you, he surpassed everything I thought he was going to be. He was so lovely. He was so gentle and warm and humble. And we were there with children who had been inspired by him to go on and take on their own fundraising efforts. And he had memorised their stories, their names, what they'd earned through their endeavours. And he really just took such a massive interest and was so excited to talk to them in a very, very lovely way. And so I came away from meeting him even more of a fan and having even more of a crush on him.
Well, he was a fan of yours as well, because he was completely starstruck when he saw you. He said, he went on to say, I'm absolutely overwhelmed. And then he was talking about the Pride of Britain. Last year, we were watching Pride of Britain as a family and hearing about all those amazing people. Never in 100 years did I ever anticipate that the award would ever be given to me. I've always had great pride in Britain. I'm very proud to be British, and to be given a Pride of Britain award is really outstanding. And he was a bit of a fan of yours, wasn't he?
Well, when we met, he talked to me a lot about the concerts of mine that he'd been to, things like the Festival of Remembrance and things at the Royal Albert Hall. So afterwards, when I got home, I sent him all of my albums, and he sent me back a copy of the children's book for my children. But I just can't. He is a national treasure. Is a really good way of describing him. But he had a global impact. I think that of that money he raised, many people sponsored him in many countries around the world. And I think he'll just continue to be a real inspiration to all of us.
And Katherine, I mean, you have a soft spot for that generation anyway, and he is definitely, one of the greats. But there is something special about that.
Absolutely. I think that, he sort of sums up that incredible generation that, they felt and feel that sense of duty. They just get on with it. They don't complain. They just get their heads down and they get on with it. And I just think it's a very, very special generation. And we can learn a lot from Captain Sir Tom.
What do you think his legacy is going to be?
I think he will, when we look back at this time, he will be the sort of the positive thing that we remember, in terms of he really was a beacon of light and hope and positivity, and he gave us all strength in a time when it was really hard for everybody. And I think that's a massive thing, and yet he did it all with such humility. He didn't realise, I think, the effect he was having on us all, and that's really, really special.
Thank you, Katherine.
Thank you, Katherine. Good to talk to you.
It's extraordinary when, at times like this, when we need them, these people bubble to the top and inspire us. Enough for the royal family to say the Queen is sending a private message of condolence to the family of Captain Sir Tom Moore. Her Majesty very much enjoyed meeting Captain Sir Tom and his family at Windsor last year. Her thoughts and those of the royal family are with them. The British Army tweeted, "It's with great sadness that we have learned of the death of Captain Sir Tom Moore, an exceptional man and soldier to the end. Our thoughts are with his family and friends at this difficult time." The White House tweeted, "We join the United Kingdom and the world in honouring the memory of Captain Sir Tom Moore, who inspired millions through his life and his actions. Number 10, tonight the Union flag flies at half-mast in the memory of the life of Captain Sir Tom Moore." An extraordinary impact on all of us, and also on JOANNA Lumley. Morning, Jo.
Good morning.
Hello, you both. What a day. Because it's sort of sad, but at the same time, it's extraordinarily celebratory, 100 years. This magical man, absolutely ordinary and completely extraordinary. And I think that's what inspired us all, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I think the thing is, and, I think a lot of us would have liked to have met him one day, and maybe, if we'd have come out of lockdown, that could have been a possibility. But it almost was like you didn't have to meet him to feel how important he was, the impact he would have upon us.
Holly, the thing was that it was such a sweet, small, private ambition to do 100 laps and to raise £1,000. But what his actions did was to bring out the best in all of us, because the country loves this. They loved his humility, just as Katherine touched on. Humble, sweet man, never boastful, never look at me, look at what I'm doing, just humbly going on doing it just to raise his £1,000. And our country just loves that. We're very generous as a nation. And so the money began pouring in, and he inspired us all. And suddenly, instead of all the sad messages we're getting, how awful it is, we're all going mad, we can't get through this is the worst time, suddenly this brave old soldier who's seen far, far worse things in his young life out in Burma just kept going, sweet sense of humour, modest to the end. And he made us better people, which was just extraordinary.
And also for you say that, we need people like this in the year that we've all gone through. And as I mentioned, there are occasionally these inspirational souls that bubble up, and we do need them.
Mm.
We do, and I must say I'm inspired by little Tony.
I know.
What a kid. Wasn't that fantastic? And incidentally, I want a Captain Tom doll like that. I've never seen it. And he loved it so much. I love the idea that Tony's got his little doll and is remembering him in that way. But that's it. That small, small boy, hugely handicapped by having no legs, but actually not a handicap. And Tony, you're just going to fly through life. Lucky, lucky schoolmates to have you there, and lucky you to have your fabulous parents and to have had Captain Tom ahead of you. So well done you, boy. Well done you.
Joanna, what do you think we will learn from his life? What do you think his legacy will be for us?
I think a sort of sweet, dogged persistence. Everything that seemed to be sort of old-fashioned. We look back on old films or old memories or grandparents and great-grandparents and you think, weren't they wonderful? Well, the truth is we've got our chance to be wonderful too. We've got our chance to do all those things which have become out of date, like stiff upper lip and keeping on and smiling in the face of adversity and keep on smiling, keep smiling through. That's what they all said in the tough, tough, dark days. And Captain Tom showed us the way there. Truly inspiring.
Thank you, Jo.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you.